Olá, seja bem-vindo ao Sports Hub. Muito obrigado. Está conosco. Well, this is Portuguese I'm speaking now because the guest I have today is Portuguese. He's from Brazil, so he'll be using much of Portuguese and we'll need an interpreter for that. He's a footballer. He started playing football in Brazil, but he's now playing in the Zambian league. So stay glued and make sure you hear what our guest is able to give us today. But other segments are on, and we have what is trending in sports. Obviously, Julius Malulu, as well as Esther Mwale, are on hand to give us what is trending. Today, Ruth is missing, obviously, and Esther Mwale is taking her place for today. Lady and gentlemen, welcome to Sports Hub.
Thank you very much, Modern. Good evening, and always a pleasure to be here. Last week we were not around. Remember that it was a holiday, so we had to rest. But then we are back with juicy and interesting stories. Wishing our colleague Ruth a quick recovery. We know she's not feeling too well, but we wish her a quick recovery. We're hoping that we're going to be with her next week, Modern. It's interesting today because we have Ruth, who's making a debut appearance on
Esther.
Our show. Oh, Esther.
And let's see how good she is with her hands. I think she's never played netball before.
We have Esther who's making a debut on debut appearance on our program, and we should be getting to know what's trending in as far as what's trending on social media is concerned. Quickly getting into what's trending on social media, Modern. We have a story that's been making headlines. Hakim, the player from Morocco, Modern, has done something that we haven't seen generally men do. Modern, all right? So now this is interesting because this is a football player that's making so much money. He plays for PSG, French side, PSG, and he actually gets paid more than $1 million per month. But then something interesting about this, Modern, is that Hakim invested all his properties and all his monies in the mother's name.
Wow.
Now, this guy loves the mother so much that he decided to invest whatever he has in the mother's name. Now, what happened is that the wife wanted a divorce, all right, with the player, and decided that the court should, the properties should be divided. Now, apparently, the wife was told that we cannot divide the properties because your husband does not own anything, but instead everything that your husband has acquired, or rather he has, is in the name of your mother-in-law. So sad for the beautiful woman that she's not going to partake in whatever the husband has managed to accumulate in his career. Now,
that was very intelligent of him, intelligent Achraf Hakim. I think he saw it coming.
That is the question I was getting to. I wanted to actually pose this question to my colleague Esther here to say, Esther, really, what do you make of this though?
Well, just like Mr. Modern has stated, I mean, perhaps you saw something like this coming. I mean, for you to settle down with somebody, you get to know the person in and out. So obviously, he had an idea of what the wife is capable of doing.
So we can safely say he's intelligent. He's a brilliant guy.
Yes,
the move was good.
Exactly. With me, I totally support the movement. He's a national asset, if you were to ask me.
Modern Esther says Hakim is a national asset. What's your quick take though on this? This story has been making so much noise on social media. People have been talking about it. Actually, you know how Zambians are. Zambians are actually saying, I think he should be the guest at the upcoming men's conference. And
he'll be my guest on Sports Hub.
Because I mean, a lot of men actually love the idea. But it's something modern that we haven't seen. Like you rightly put it, indeed, it's an intelligent move because it's actually something that we haven't seen from most men. We don't see a lot of men invest, where they invest property or their money, whatever they get, into the mother's name. But instead, they would rather do it in the wife's name. So really, I think this is a good move, and I think this is an eye opener to most men out there.
If it was chess, it would be checkmate, because I'm sure you've seen what has been happening in the recent past, where players would marry, especially African players. They've been sacked really. They've been left bare with nothing because of that. If they can follow Hakimi's, I think, way of doing things, I think a lot of lives will be safeguarded.
Are you supporting this move though? What's your take on this? Do you really think it's a good move?
Well,
are you not feeling for the wife?
It's 50-50, yes.
Are you not feeling for the wife?
Yes, but I feel most of these women have a plan, I think. They want to eat from, especially footballers, because they know that they make a lot of money.
Yeah.
So later on, they want to push for a divorce so that they can get the possession. But we are a little very young.
I think this African player really at Tumfusha in Africa at least at least people now
we should have World Akim's Day. I mean, just getting to celebrate his
I think that's a good
really amazing.
That's a good suggestion, Modern. This is what this guy did. And actually, Modern, if you look at the photo, if you look at the photo down, I think this was at the World Cup. The mother has been supporting the son. Every time the son is playing, the mom would always be there. So now maybe this makes sense. The mom would just use the money that that the son has been pushing in that account and be able to fly to whichever country if at all the son is playing and be able to support the son. Good move from the Moroccan player, and we're hoping that most African players can also emulate this and be able to invest their money wisely. Modern, we get into our second story, our very own Sadio Mane, the Senegalese player. I don't really understand this, Modern. I don't know when Sadio Mane became a boxer. As far as I'm concerned, and the way I know the former Liverpool player, he's a cool guy.
No, that has been edited. Certainly.
Yeah, he's a cool guy. No, we still have other photos that are going to be running on the screen. The way we know him, he's a cool player. We don't know him for violence, Modern. But apparently what happened is that Sadio Mane punched his teammate. Something that we really don't think Sadio Mane can do, looking at his character and looking at what kind of a player he is. But then, I don't know, maybe Esther will help me on this one. Is there, have we been told what the teammate told Mane?
Well, it is not really specified what exactly happened, but yeah, even on the pitch during the game between Bayern and Manchester City, Mane and Sané actually were having a misunderstanding. So it started from the pitch and it ended in the dressing room. Yeah, so in the end, he lost it. Obviously, with me, I feel Sané somehow said something offensive, to trigger Sadio Mane to hit him. I mean, we know Sadio Mane is a cool guy. He's not really that kind of person that gets...
What would really make him punch really the friend? Modern, back to you. What's your take though? What do you think? Do you really think there must have been something really hard that was, that was told or rather that was thrown to Sadio Mane in order for him to react?
It could be something big. I'm sure maybe something to do with his family, or maybe his well-being, or something.
But do you really think that the way Sadio Mane reacted was the best way to react, despite whatever you're being told? Really, is it the way you're supposed to really behave?
I feel it's not the best way, but there are times when you
you just have to.
You just have
emotions take over.
The limit. Yeah, you have to release.
When emotions take over.
You're pushed against the wall, and you have to.
And this is what happened with our fellow African brother. Emotions took over, and you know what? He just actually had to punch his colleague. And you know what? I'm not gonna if I'm gonna hit you. So really, it's a sad story that this happened. Actually, Sadio Mane Modern was charged, and really, this is really a sad story. Quickly, we'll get to Esther. Esther, what do you have for us in as far as women's football is concerned?
Well, a lot of things are happening in women's football. I mean, we know to say we are preparing for the World Cup. The Copa Queens are preparing for the World Cup.
Less than 100 days to go.
Yeah, less than 100 days to go. And I don't know, as a way of trying to prepare, they also try to seek God's intervention by going to church. So over the weekend, we saw pictures from Margaret Belemu and, of course, Hazonali, just going to church. But something that left people talking was, the Copa Queens attending church service in jeans.
Actually, Esther, someone was attacking us for this.
Okay.
Modern, give us your take on this, though. Do you really think... I'm not saying anyone was attacking us. I just want you to give your thought. Is there anything wrong with this dress code? If you have
Ripped jeans for that matter.
Exactly. There's everything wrong. We are Zambians, and there's a certain culture that we follow. Going to church in such an outfit is not right for us as
but there's another pic. I think maybe we just don't have it. There's another pic where they were in Chitenge.
This one here.
There's another pic where they were in Chitenge.
This one here.
Yes, look at this pic. So look at this pic now. So look at this pic, Modern. I think we have one where she's in a Chitenge. What's your take on this? What's your take on this? Because she's in a Chitenge.
Wow. Yes, and like I said earlier on, yes, in a Chitenge, yes, it's fine. It's widely accepted in Zambia. But going with jeans, ripped jeans, no, it's not right. But I hear there are certain churches that allow, outfits. They
just to hold you, just to hold you, Modin. I mean, it's the same Bible that says, going to church the way you are. And doesn't matter whether you're in jeans or in a chitenge, as long as your heart is there, you're praying.
But anyway.
Was that in Turkey or in Zambia?
No, this looks like in Zambia.
Yeah, this looks
Mitenge sham Zambia shiba name yotoka itwa sanga ipsa mkuteki kwena. This is in Zambia, yeah. But anyway, all in all, we wish the Copa Queens all the very best, even as they continue to prepare for the upcoming World Cup. Yes, we were humiliated by Republic of Korea, where we were humiliated, I think, 10 goals to 2. That's really not a good result, especially that we're preparing for the upcoming World Cup. But we wish Coach Bruce Mwape and the rest of the team that as they prepare, they should prepare adequately.
I'll give you a chance to give me the last story.
Okay, the last story is involving Inonge Kalustian. So remember the time that she was being summoned for the squad that went to South Korea. A lot of people was had a lot of things to say. Why should they summon a person that has not yet scored anything? But anyway, the drought was over. Inonge Kalustian over the weekend managed to find the back of the net for her club ZISD Women, and this was against Mufurida Wanderers Queens over the weekend.
Okay, kudos to Inonge, and obviously pardon us for the video. It's an amateur video, but we needed to show you what happened. At least Inonge has scored.
No, she scored. Now, Modern, she scored in a local game for her club. But then the worry is Coach Bruce Mwape is considering her to be part and parcel of the squad that's going to be playing at the upcoming World Cup. But then she hasn't been given much time to play in as far as the playing for the Copa Queens is concerned. So it's a source of concern, and we're hoping that in the next international friendly that the Copa Queens will be playing against Germany, she'll be given more time so that we're able to see what kind of a player she is, so that even as she goes to the World Cup, we know what she's capable of doing. That's what we had in as far as what was trending on social media.
But just before you go, still talking about women's football, there was something ugly that happened over the weekend. Shed more light. I don't know if it's you, Julius, or Esther.
I think Julius will do it.
Just a quick one, though. The game involving women's team, the Green Eagles women's team, they were leading Busa, yes, they were leading 2-1. But then the referee's decision did not go well with one of the Busa players, and the Busa player decided, or rather opted for the referee's neck.
Oh my goodness.
Followed the referee and wanted to hit the referee. So that's what happened. Unfortunately, we couldn't flash the photos, Modern, but then violence is something that we've been talking about, should not be tolerated in football in any form. So really, we do not want to condone violence in any way, and that's something that we've been talking about on the show, and we're hoping that that will not continue in as far as a beautiful game of football is concerned. For now, Modern, this is what we had in as far as what's trending is concerned.
Thank you very much, Esther and Julius. Hoping to see you next week.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So we move on to our next segment, which is how much do you know your sportsmen and women? Let's recap on last week's question where I asked you to identify any of the people who are in that photo, any of them. If you gave me even one, I was going to appreciate, but I didn't receive feedback. Maybe the ones who are watching were .com babies. You are unable to identify those. So I'll identify them for you. So just here on the left is Charles Musonda. I'm sure you remember Charles Musonda. He was one of the great players for KK11. And after Charles Musonda is Lucky Msiska. After Lucky Msiska is Kalusha Bwalia, who's obviously done a lot for Zambian football. And then on the right is the late Phaeton Simukonda. He was the captain on that day. And they were greeting, they're simply greeting the Republican president, Dr. Kenneth Kaunda, who died in 2021. So it was a tradition for him to greet players just before the game at Independence Stadium. So those are the players on the photo. I was hoping you're going to identify them. But anyway, from now on, you know them. But I have another photo for you. I want you to identify any of those members that are there. Also, some of them are gone on that photo. So who can you identify on that photo? Send us the phone, call us on 0211 25 30 25 or 0211 25 08 43, or send us a WhatsApp message on 0955 20 29 04. On Facebook, you can go to Modern Sinclair Sports or Sports Hub Facebook page, and then you'll be able to reach us. Let's go to the results. Let's see what happened over the past weekend. We start with rugby in the National League. Games played on Saturday, 15th April. It was KPF 12, Red Arrows 13, Lusaka 10, Diggers 17, Leopards versus Kansanshi. This game was postponed as Leopards pitch was hired for a first aid competition. Green Eagles 14, Green Buffaloes 17. Then in the President's League, the game between Konkola and Drone was postponed as Konkola pitch was hired for first aid competition. Nchanga 41, Chivuluma 8, Ndola 0, Nkwazi 40. In the ladies category, it was Green Eagles 25, Green Buffaloes 5, Diggers 0, Leopards, Mufulira Leopards 21. Arrows and Konkola, including Nchanga, were owned by. From rugby, let's go to netball. In the Midlands Netball Association, Mina Premier League Week 2 results. It was Green Eagles 68, Kalingalinga United 28, Napsa 41, Nkwazi 35, Unza 20, Lusaka City Council 81. So it's 2 wins out of 2 for Napsa and also Lusaka City Council, who are on top of the table at the moment after 2 games. Let's go to the MTN First Super League. Week 29 results. On Saturday, it was FC Muza 0, Kawa Warriors 2. Strange indeed for FC Muza to lose at their home ground, Nakambala Stadium. Green Eagles 1, Changa Rangers 2. So Agri Changi had to prove a point that no, he is the best coach. He doesn't know why he was fired at Green Eagles. So he beat his former side by 2-1 at their own home ground. Lumwana Radiants 0, Nkana 0. Napsa Stars 4, Green Buffaloes 1, Nkwazi 2, Forest Rangers 1, Red Arrows 3, Prison Leopards 1, Zesco United 3, Zanaco 2. So it was George Lwandamina beating Wilson Nyirenda. Wilson Nyirenda in his first assignment, he's lost. Then on Sunday, it was Kansanshi Dynamos 3, Buttecon 0. This was a walkover result because Buttecon failed to travel to Kansanshi. Power Dynamos, the league leaders, 3, Chambishi 1. So Power Dynamos now have opened up a 10-point lead, and they look like they are winning with 5 games to go. In the first National Division 1 League, Week 29 results on Saturday, it was Indeni 2, Bats 0, Kitwe United 0, Young Green Buffaloes 1, Kafue Eagles 2, Mufulira Wanderers 0. This is a game we showed on TV3. Aguila Stars 0, Trident 1. The league leaders Trident, they've opened up an 8-point lead. They also look like they are winning the league. Zesco Malaiti Rangers 2, Livingston Pirates 1, Atletico Lusaka 3, Kafue Celtic 2. The guest for today is coming from Kafue Celtic. Please take note. And then on Sunday, it was Konkola Blades 0, Mtondo Stars 0. This is the game we showed on TV3. Jumulo 1, City of Lusaka 1, Pulungu Harbor 2, Lusaka Dynamos 0. So on top is Trident, followed by Mutondo Stars, then Mufulira Wanderers in 3rd position. Then in the first Women's Super League with 31 results, the National Assembly 1, Queen's Academy 1, Played Forward 2, Elite Ladies 0, Green Eagles 2, Pauline United 1. This is the game we were saying it caused Kafuafua, where some officials were attacked from Green Eagles, including one media personnel, Tandiwe Maduma. She was also one of those that were attacked. Yassa Queens, nil. Nkwazi Queens, nil. Prison Leopards, Queens, nil. Police Dove, Queens, nil. Let's end with the English Premier League Week 31 results. On Saturday, it was Aston Villa 3, Newcastle United nil. Chelsea 1, Brighton and Hove Albion 2. Everton 1, Fulham 3. Southampton nil. Crystal Palace 2. Wolverhampton Wanderers 2. Brentford nil. Tottenham Hotspur 2. Bournemouth 3. Then Manchester City 3. Leicester City 1. Patson Daka's Leicester City losing here. On Sunday, it was West Ham 2. Arsenal 2. So Arsenal in the second consecutive week giving away the 2-0 lead. They gave it away to Liverpool and they also gave it away to West Ham. And now people are wondering, is Arsenal serious about winning this year's title? Remember, they last won in the 2003-2004 season. So that's about 20 years ago. Nottingham Forest nil, Manchester United 2. Leeds United are facing Liverpool. Just as we are talking right now, it's about 23 minutes played. All right, so those are the results from the weekend. But before I introduce my guests in the studio, let's dance to a song done by 1J, and this is titled Tulalira Bola.
I'm back on this one with Mastermind from Malawi, and yes, Zambia. Zambia yose na kukunkerere ichikombe chesu na tusendelele chato konka mumeso tusungilile abana balala abana balala abana balala abana balala akabola Zambia odashwera tuwile akabola Zambia odashwera tuwile mama Zambia tulalira bola mama Zambia tulalira bola Zambia vaga pressure we mwana Zambia vaga pressure we mwana yeah vaga pressure we mwana vaga pressure yeah vaga pressure we mwana vaga pressure Zambia vaga pressure we mwana vaga pressure Zambia vaga pressure we mwana vaga pressure ati Zambia vaga pressure Zambia vaga pressure iwe Zambia vaga pressure Zambia yeah akabola Zambia odashwera tuwile yeah akabola Zambia odashwera tuwile mama Zambia tulalira bola mama Zambia tulalira bola ati Zambia chipolo polo tima chinyalinga chepe golo golo zima players atundi madolo dolo zikolitika wapa mapolo polo kani ya mpila tilibe malile tikubwisa mpaka wina pakile tichita bwino lendo mudalile timu Zambia wona meno chitile yeah akabola Zambia odashwera tuwile yeah akabola Zambia odashwera tuwile mama Zambia tulalira bola mama Zambia tulalira bola chachine kapisha chiwe mpala bagai file chitika sokone market intercity bagai Soweto market Kapata market Eastern province Lilongwe people from Malawi, how are you doing there? Andrew Kamanga, the president of FAZ. Chileshe Kandeta, the civil servant. Father Muyaure. Bamukimba. Bamukupa. Mr. Chubres from Kitwe. Uncle Jembewe. DJ Dazo. Red MC. Manny Chiru. And all the DJs across the nation. Let's cheer the team. Here we are. Zambia back.
Jay, indeed, with the song Tulalira Bola. Indeed, in Zambia, Tulalira Bola is all about football, football, football. And so now we are riding behind the Copper Queens who are going to the World Cup for the very first time. And the World Cup is kicking off on the 20th of July, all the way up to the 20th of August. And we wish Zambia all the best because they are in a tough group, to be honest. There's Spain there, there's Costa Rica, and also Japan, the 2011 world champions. So a lot has to be done. Right, time for me to welcome my guest in the studio. He comes from a country where there's so much football. This country has won the World Cup 5 times. They're the record holders. And now this guest of mine started football in Brazil, played there, then came to Zambia, played for Red Arrows, and also he's currently playing for Kafue Celtic. This team plays in the First National Division 1 League. I'm talking about Thales Cruz. A warm welcome to Thales Cruz.
Thank you. Nice
All
to
right.
meet you.
Okay.
Good evening, guys.
Good to have you.
Yes.
All right. So Thales is accompanied by the interpreter, Almeida, Rodrigo Almeida. You're also welcome. I featured him, I think it's about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, 3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago.
Yeah,
Yes.
something like
so
that.
you're welcome. You can
Thanks
sit
so
here
much. Sit in the country.
so that we hear your story. All right.
Thanks so much.
Thank you, thank you.
So first things first, tell us more about yourself. Who is Thales Cruz? When were you born? Where and how was your childhood like?
Ele perguntou onde você veio, como foi a sua infância. Conta a sua história um pouquinho.
Eu sou natural do Espírito Santo, Brasil.
He came from the whole Espírito Santo as a state from Brazil.
Uma infância muito boa, de muita diversão, e futebol. Muita diversão e muito futebol na minha infância, aproveitei bastante. E desde bem novo fui apaixonado pelo futebol.
He said it was a very joyful childhood. He played a lot, have a lot of fun, and he played football a lot in the childhood since the youngest years. So I think his life is around football all the time.
Okay. So who inspired you to go into football?
Quem te inspirou aí para o futebol?
Como jogador, o meu ídolo sempre foi o Ronaldinho Gaúcho.
I believe don't need translation.
I've heard of Ronaldinho Gaúcho.
Yes, my idol.
Yes, so Ronaldinho inspired you.
E eu também sempre gostei de ver meu pai. Meu pai, quando novo, jogava também, e eu acabei me inspirando e segui esse ramo.
He said his father also inspired him. His father is a former player, so inspiring him to play.
Right, interesting. So at what age did you start playing football?
Que idade você começou a jogar futebol?
Bem novo. Quando criança, meu pai já me levava para os campos, mas oficial, com 8, 9 anos, eu já jogava.
Since very young, he went with his father to the pitch, but at 9 years.
Yes, 9, 10
years. 10 years he started officially.
Okay, I saw an interesting photo of you playing football at a tender age. I think, how old were you that time? I saw you kicking the ball.
Que idade você tinha naquela foto quando você era bem pequeno?
3, 4 years.
3 years or 4 years?
3, 4 years.
Interesting. We'll be able to see that photo when you are kicking the ball at the age of 4. So I know there's a lot of football in Brazil. Yeah, that photo. Where was that?
Onde foi isso?
No Espírito Santo.
In the Espírito Santo is a state of Brazil.
In Santos?
No, Espírito
Espírito
Santo is
Santo.
a state after Rio de Janeiro, in the seaside.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
So who are those behind you?
Quem são aqueles atrás de você?
São amigos do meu pai.
Friends of his father.
Yes.
Okay. And they were trying to watch you play.
Yes.
That's interesting. You didn't tell us your age. How old are you?
Quantos anos você tem?
24.
24.
24.
All right. So if you were 3 that time, so it means Well, that's 21 years ago. Okay.
No problem.
So tell us about your progression of football. How did you, which academy did you start with, and how did you progress going forward?
Em que academia você começou e como você progrediu no futebol?
Então, meu primeiro clube foi o Rio Branco, no Espírito Santo.
His first club was
Brasil,
Rio Branco,
Rio
at
Branco.
the Spirit Sante State.
É. Daí, joguei na base, aí passei por bases de alguns clubes do Brasil, como o Grêmio, Vasco. Voltei para o Espírito Santo, joguei no Serra, no clube de lá também, onde eu me profissionalizei. De lá eu fui para o Porto Vitória e do Porto participei também, joguei no Vitória, um clube grande lá do estado também, do Espírito Santo. E dali eu vim para cá. Saí do Brasil, fui para a Croácia e da Croácia eu vim para a Zâmbia.
He said after Rio Branco, he played in the youth in a lot of top clubs in Brazil, like Grêmio, Vasco, in the youth, which is a good level, is an amazing level. After he went to the Espírito Santo, he went back to the Espírito Santo and played at Serra. Serra, he got professional level there, started to play as a professional player there. After he went to the Porto Vitória, is another top club in our region. After he went to Vitória, is another good club for our area. After Vitória, he went to Croatia. After Croatia, he came here.
Yes.
Okay. How was the competition there playing in Brazil? Were you finding it easy?
Como é com a competição que você está jogando no Brasil? Você acha que era mais fácil? Você achava fácil?
Não. No Brasil são muitos jogadores técnicos, very technic, muita técnica. Já a diferença, por exemplo, para o futebol africano é muita força física, muita intensidade, e no Brasil acaba tendo bastante jogadores técnicos. Fisicamente e em nível de intensidade, a Zâmbia e a África estão acima. Tecnicamente, o Brasil está acima.
He said this Brazil is very technical football, and he take advantage of this moment to say here in Africa is too physical, it's more physical, and in Brazil is more technical. So he think that in Brazil the advantage is you can find technical players here. The players are better in terms of intensity and in the physical condition.
Okay. Is Pelé one of your idols?
Pelé é dos seus ídolos?
Pelé é best. O maior.
Okay.
The biggest.
Biggest.
Okay, and I'm sure because by that time when he was playing, you were young, just heard of him and maybe watched videos of him.
Você já só ouviu falar do Pelé quando você era mais novo?
Sim. A minha família toda falava muito do Pelé. Meus avós, principalmente, que viram, eu não vi, meu pai também não, mas os meus avós que viram falavam muito do Pelé e do Zico. Talvez você não conheça, mas no Brasil é um grande ídolo.
He said his grandfather's grandmother saw Pelé playing. And his father didn't see as well, but their grandfathers and grandmothers saw Pelé playing, and also his father said about Zico, it is another top level player in Brazil in the 80s, so that's is a reference as well.
Okay, so talking about Pelé, he played for the national team and became a World Cup winner at the age of 17. You are 24 and you are yet to play for the Brazilian national team. Has it been very difficult to play for the national team?
Ele perguntou,
Isso é difícil.
Pelé com 17 anos chegou, foi campeão mundial, né, conquistou tudo. Você com 24 tem ainda um desejo de jogar pela seleção brasileira? Você acha isso muito difícil?
Representar a seleção do seu país é sempre um desejo, principalmente para a gente que joga, que gosta muito do futebol. Porém, realmente no Brasil é muito difícil por ter bastante atletas e o futebol hoje em dia prioriza muito quem cresce em base de clube grande. Mas não deixa de ser ainda um desejo, é muito grande, quem sabe um dia.
He said that it's a dream to represent the national team. Every player wants to play in the national team. And in this moment, the national teams are prioritizing players which came from the top clubs in Brazil, in the youth from top clubs. So, but it's a dream. He wants to get it.
Right. So what position do you play? Which position do you like playing? And which feet do you use? Or do you use both feet?
Você usa os dois pés e em que posição você que joga?
Eu jogo no meio campo, eu sou destro de origem, mas eu tenho um bom controle com a perna esquerda também.
He said that he has a good control with the left foot, and also but he's a right foot, and he play as a midfield, offensive midfield actually.
Offensive midfield.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so from the time you started playing football, you've just been playing as an offensive midfielder. Have you been tried in other positions?
Você já tentou outra posição?
Já na Croácia, por exemplo, antes de vir para a Zâmbia, eu atuei como lateral direito, e no Brasil já joguei de meio campo mais defensivo e também de atacante.
In the Croatia, before he came to Zambia, he was playing as a right fullback. They tried to adjust him at this position, and in Brazil he played as a defensive midfielder as well.
Okay, interesting. Okay, so now we want to know, how did you find yourself in Zambia?
Como você se encontrou aqui em Zambia? Como você veio parar aqui na Zambia?
Então, eu vim através da agência que hoje é gerida por um africano, o ídolo africano também, o Kanouté, Fred Kanouté, e eles me deram a oportunidade de estar aqui na Zâmbia. Quando surgiu a oportunidade, eu não pensei duas vezes, aceitei, e com a ajuda aqui do meu amigo Rodrigo aqui, que estava aqui para me receber.
Yeah, he said he came through the one agency, which is 12 Management, that is leader commanded by the Fred Kanouté, which is African players from former international player from Mali, and this company has a connection with Kafue Celtic, and when they sent him to play here. And now when we arrived, he found me here, and I'm helping him to adjust here in Zambia football.
Okay, so your first club was with Red Arrows. How was your experience there?
So como foi a experiência no Red Arrows, seu primeiro clube?
Muito boa, muito boa. Quando eu cheguei, logo para mim foi um choque, né, pelo nível de intensidade, mas acredito que tive um momento bom de adaptação. Gostei bastante, aproveitei a oportunidade, aproveitei a experiência, aproveitei os momentos, e hoje estou tendo a oportunidade de estar num clube muito bom também, que é o Kafue Celtic.
He said that was very good. He has an opportunity to adjust, to understand the local football. Now he is playing the Kafue Celtic, which is one amazing experience as well. It was a good club as well.
Okay. Did you, I know Red Arrows are the defending champions of the MTN Super League. Were you part of that glory?
Aí ele falou que o Red Arrows estava defendendo o título da competição. Você fez parte do título?
Não, eu cheguei depois.
You arrived after.
Okay. Okay. So anything that what was your contribution at Red Arrows?
Qual foi a
That
sua
was
contribuição?
outstanding for you.
Qual foi a sua contribuição para o Red Arrows que foi destacável para você?
Como assim? Né?
A sua contribuição, por que você contribuiu para o clube? Você pode falar daquele primeiro título?
Assim que eu cheguei, eu participei da pré-temporada, e nós fizemos, né, um torneio, participei de um torneio dos campeões, Copa Blake. enfim, eu não me recordo agora o nome, a Copa, mas participei, fomos campeões, fui campeão com o Red Arrows desse torneio de pré-temporada, Black Label Cup.
Uhum.
Fomos campeões desse torneio com o Red Arrows. Infelizmente, fomos eliminados nas eliminatórias da UEFA, nas eliminatórias da Liga dos Campeões, que eles estavam participando da África, e sobrou para nós a primeira Liga da Zâmbia. Então acredito que eu tive, não só para mim foi muito bom, mas acredito também que eu tive uma boa contribuição para o clube.
He said that when we arrived at the pre-season, he contributed to the first title of the season for the Red Hours and
The Charity Shield. In the Charity Shield.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. He scored a goal at this competition, and after unhappily they got eliminated in the Champions League, Africa Champions League in Africa, but he think he's contributed a lot for Red Hours until this moment.
Nessa competição, em 2 partidas que eu participei, eu tive 2 gols.
He said he scored twice in 2 games in this competition.
Ajudando no time.
In the Charity Shield?
Yes.
Yes.
Interesting. As a midfielder, you even scored some goals.
Yes.
Interesting. So what made you leave Red Arrows to go to Kafue Celtic, which is in Division 1?
O que fez você ir para o Kafue Celtic, que está na divisão 1?
Na real, eu vim para a Zâmbia com um contrato com o Kafue Celtic. Eu fui emprestado para o Red Arrows. E devido também, entre outras circunstâncias, a necessidade que no momento, né, o Kafue Celtic estava e tive poder ter a oportunidade de ajudar nesse momento foi algo que me fez ir para o Kafue.
And he said he's a Kafue Celtic player since the beginning. When he arrived, the Kafue Celtic sent him by loan to Red Hours, and he comes back to Kafue Celtic because they are needing one player like him to help the team at this moment in the mid of the season, in the mid-season.
Okay. So how is your experience in Division 1, playing Division 1 football? I'm sure you've been to Mpolongo to play Mpolongo Harbour, Livingstone Pirates, Kalumbila to play Trident. How has been your experience?
Como está sendo a sua experiência na divisão?
No início foi um pouco complicado, mas hoje eu já me sinto adaptado, tenho gostado bastante dessa experiência na divisão 1 da Zâmbia. Como eu falei, tenho aproveitado e tentado extrair o máximo para mim.
He said he's trying to get the best as he can at this experience. He is adjusting, and it's not to be easy. Você falou o que mesmo no início?
Foi complicado.
Wasn't easy in the beginning. But now he's adjusted.
Muito diferente.
By the way, he didn't went to Mpolongo because we played there in the first moment of the competition. But he went to the Livingstone Pirates, and now I hope he goes to the Kitwe to play against Kitwe United. So.
Okay. Now that you are not very fluent in English, and maybe some of the players may not speak English or Portuguese, so how do you communicate?
Você não é muito fluente em inglês, como você comunica em inglês com os jogadores?
Eu entendo algumas coisas, consigo falar algumas, hoje não dá para arriscar.
He said he understands some words, and they try to speak another words today. He don't want to try it because he's here. Mas no futebol, a língua futebolística é muito mais fácil. He said in the football, to speak a football language is much easier.
Okay, so tell me any of the Bemba words, Bemba or Nyanja words that you've learned here in Zambia.
He said, quais línguas Nyanja e Bemba você aprendeu aqui na Zâmbia?
Nyanja é leta. Esse Buenacuno.
Interesting, interesting. So letter means bring.
Yeah.
Sunga.
You know sunga as well?
Yes, no sunga.
So sunga means keep.
Segura.
Yes, fica.
Yeah, fika means okay, go there.
Go there.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Interesting. So which one would you say was your best game? Was your best game ever in Division 1?
Qual jogo para você foi o melhor jogo nessa divisão?
Acredito que... Cara, eu gostei. Infelizmente, no último jogo a gente acabou perdendo, mas fizemos um primeiro tempo muito bom. E o jogo antes também, o jogo antecedente a esse, acredito que tenha sido o melhor jogo, tanto como equipe, como talvez individualmente também.
He said the last game before this game, 2 games ago, was one good game for him. And at this game, despite the lose, despite the loss, they said despite the bad results, he said it was a good game as well.
Okay. What is happening to your midfield? Kafue Celtic now is not performing well, and you're in the relegation zone. You might be relegated to Lusaka province. What is happening?
O que está acontecendo com o Kafue Celtic na zona de rebaixamento e pode ser rebaixado para a região distrital de Lusaka?
Cara, então, acredito eu tive a oportunidade de chegar depois. Acredito que o Kafue Celtic tem um time muito qualificado, com jogadores novos, muito bons de verdade. Tanto que tem alguns na seleção nacional. Porém, acredito que fizemos uma primeira parte da temporada, o primeiro turno, como se diz no Brasil. O primeiro turno nosso foi muito ruim. Tivemos um início de temporada muito ruim, talvez por desatenção em alguns jogos, e agora estamos tentando recuperar os pontos perdidos. Melhoramos bastante nesse segundo turno, porém ainda falta. Temos que deixar aquela zona ali de risco longe para poder dormirmos tranquilos.
He said he just arrived now and he believes in the beginning of the season. At the first lap, we didn't do a great first lap and the first round of the competition. So we perhaps make a mistake in some points. Now in the second round, we are start to recover. We start to play better. We have a good team to do it. And we are in the delegation zone, but we believe we can do it. We can be in a better position in the future.
Okay. As we come to the end, how far do you want to go in your football career?
Quão longe você quer ir na sua carreira de futebol?
Acredito, o meu sonho de como atleta, como jogador, é chegar numa das principais ligas do mundo. Principalmente um dia poder, quem sabe, jogar na liga inglesa, que para mim é a liga mais chamativa, a liga mais competitiva. Então o meu sonho principal é poder jogar numa das grandes ligas, poder jogar uma UEFA Champions League e quem sabe representar meu país e jogar também uma Copa do Mundo.
He said that his dream is to arrive at the Premier League, so also play a UEFA League, Champions League, and he represented his country at the World Cup.
Right, and the possibility is real because Batson Daka, who is playing in the English Premier League for Leicester City, as well as Enoch Mwepu at Brighton and Hove, came from Kafue Celtic, so it's also possible for you to go that route. But are you a family man? Are you married?
Você é homem de família? Você é casado?
Sim, eu sou de família, mas não sou casado não. Eu tenho uma namorada no Brasil, mas eu não sou casado não.
He said he's a family man. He's not married, but he have a girlfriend in Brazil, and he wants to marry this year.
Okay. Who is that one on the photo?
Minha mãe.
His mother.
Okay. That was on her 41st birthday?
Yes. 41 anos.
Yes.
Okay.
Birthday my man.
Okay. It will be interesting to see how many are you in your family?
Quantos são na sua família?
Nós somos em 4 irmãos, minha mãe e meu pai.
6 persons,
Six persons.
6 members, 5 brothers, and the parents.
Okay. I wish we could see the other family members. So 6.
6.
And they all play football.
3.
3 play football.
3 play football.
And those are the ones, right?
Yeah.
So there are your 4, and that's your dad, and that's your mom behind it.
Yeah.
Interesting, interesting.
3 men, 3 play football.
Okay.
Those 3 play football.
Yes.
Okay, interesting.
The right one play in the Croatia, the middle
Yes.
play in the Flamengo, the top club in Brazil.
Yes.
Him play here, and his sister and
Interesting.
Yeah.
Let's do some game. So Rodrigo here is the technical director for Kafue Celtic. He's a player. Let's do some game. We'll start with ball juggling first. No. Let's start with arm wrestling. So you can come with me here very quickly.
my God.
I want to see who is the strongest between Rodrigo and Thales.
Quer fazer uma
So
quebra
we'll
de
see whether
braço.
it will be edge that will determine, or it will be, so you can come here. So you rest your elbows like this. Then.
Você tem que
Then
deixar eu vencer.
Yeah.
So you can come here. Thales, come
Thales.
here.
Ó, vai devagar.
Yes, and I'm the referee. And time starts now. You can rest your elbows here.
My coach, this is very gym. Yeah.
So rest your elbows here. Yes.
I will let
And when I say, I'll count up to 3. When I say 1, 2, 3, go, then you go.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, go. Is it Rodrigo or Thales? Is it a player? Here is the winner. Okay. Ball juggling. Before we just go, very quickly, ball juggling. Let's see.
Yeah, ball juggling.
Yes, and time starts now. 1. Anyway, these are professionals. You are professionals. Thank you very much. Gentlemen, I was hosting Thales Cruz, who is a Brazilian player playing for Kafue Celtic, and also Rodrigo, who was interpreting. Thales is fluent in Portuguese. So these are the guests I had today. Join us next week when I come with another set of guests. My name is Modern Tapetela Sinkala. Goodbye.